upgrades all across the board.
For a quick minute, I thought it was like a hair trimmer. I was like, this seems like an inappropriate time to be getting a haircut. Not that you're feeling fresh is important and all that, but...
No, I gotta have an opera with a limber neck, though.
Yeah, I can see how that could work. I appreciate it. I don't know. I'm still only really recovering from complexity. You know, beating Navi in the first. You had a good tweet.
Thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, just sent a little trigger tweet out there.
What if I said it's possible that Navi might have been a little bit jet lagged? Like, would you accept that as a?
That would be the perfect thing to have happen. Somebody saying, "Oh man, it's just jet lag." Look, we've talked at length, and obviously at Cologne, as I mentioned, Liquid was all the rage of conversation with Yekindar, so let's put them on the back burner right now. This one for me, obviously, the first glimpse at G2. JKS is back. He's had a long time out of the pro scene, outside of his victory in Katowice when he's standing in for FaZe. An impressive performance there from JKS. You also bring in a new in-game leader, and obviously that conversation swirling around G2 of the in-game leadership and some of the history behind some of the players on G2 as well, always going to be a point of conversation, and I think we're all just excited to see what's going to come with this first look and see where it's going to go. But for me, the big factor of this in-game leader change for G2 is the fact that Xtaz got to kind of handpick, right?
Yes.
Handpick his in-game leader. When he came in initially, like Alexi had come in with him, you're kind of rolling with what you got. This was a situation where there was an obvious disconnect there, and priority number one in the offseason had to be Xtaz. Let's find you an in-game leader that you can be on the same page with, that you can actually have a conversation, that you can actually communicate with and see the game similarly, so that we can build a comprehensive plan for the whole team. And that, I think, is what HooXi represents, you know, in its base essence.
And they should have the firepower across the rest of the lineup. So yeah, if on the tactical front and on a leadership front, that's going to be working out, then there could be something really to be excited for here with the G2 lineup.
And this man on your screen is another point of conversation, with Xtaz having a tweet recently as well, where he's saying, you know, basically, you know, we had a little bit of like a role overlap to where Hunter was put in positions that aren't his like kind of primary place to be, that aren't his most comfortable position. So yeah, part of the roster changes here also to kind of straighten out some of that role confusion and put Hunter back in a position where he can play at his best and play at his most comfortable. And for me, I love watching Hunter play. Like, I mean, obviously Nico's gonna, you know, Nico's Nico. We all know what he brings to the table. Yeah. Modesty's certainly exciting in his own way, but I think Hunter is such a fun player to watch with the decisions he makes and the impact that he can have.
And it feels like throughout some of the down spirals of G2, he's been one of the players that's been hit the hardest in what's been happening, and that's super upsetting. I agree. Like, it is really cool to watch Hunter do his work.
Just literally, you could go down the list of this G2 team, and there's like an interesting conversation basically around every single player. Even Modesty, where Xtaz is saying, you know, these first like 7-8 months of his time in G2 of this year has been us kind of, you know, holding him back a little bit, trying to make sure he's got like the base fundamental level of knowledge that we can build upon. And now it's time to start unleashing him. He even kind of said, we want to see the impact from Modesty, not just in the clutches, which we've seen so many highlights for such a young player, such an early career that he's had. We want to start seeing his impact felt with opening moves, with finding us picks. We want to start seeing his impact in rotating in the mid round and being in the right position at the right time, not just the 1v2s, not just the magical 1v3s.
I've got to say, we talked a lot about G2, but I mean, my excitement for this game is actually on the Liquid side. Like, I'm back on that hype train for the minute.
Danish traitor, really. I think is the way to phrase it.
I think I'll take it. I think that
I'm happy to have you along for the ride.
It's been I've been looking at a distance, and I felt like that doesn't look like a ride that I really want to be on. But
there were a few ropey years in there. I'll give it to you.
Now I just think it's starting to look more exciting. I think it's awesome for me to see Nitro come back and play at this high level. I mean, maybe there's still more to be desired there. I'm sure it's a hard transition. I am excited to finally see Lige play at a level that we've known in the past that he could get there, but also it was starting to feel like it's more of a distant memory. Like, yeah, I remember when he was that good, but now I mean, the last in Cologne we saw just how powerful he could be. That was, I think, awesome.
I think Liquid hit a lot of obstacles during the COVID era of Counter-Strike that kind of subdued a lot of their individual ability, and obviously Elige with Yekindar coming into the lineup in Cologne was one of his career, like, just a phenomenal career performance. Yekindar obviously is going to provide a new angle, but also, I mean, the step up in the surge of OC. OC had, I think, you know, had the most clutches, I think.
I know, it's
at
ridiculous.
that event as well. Like he was absolutely insane, providing impact all throughout the round, and as well as those awesome clutches. So there's some pieces of this Liquid team that have been quiet, that have not been playing to their potential for some time. And I think at Cologne was the first glimpse we had, and now it's, I think everyone, especially every North American fan, is just like every finger is crossed, saying, I hope it continues out of this break. What is this Liquid team going to look like with more time having Yekindar in the roster and DAP standing behind him?
Yeah, even as a learning opportunity, right, to bring that CIS Counter-Strike is a big talking point that was happening in Cologne about how now they actually have some access to some of the secret information that might otherwise almost be region locked. And you could see when you were watching that tournament how Liquid were playing differently. You saw them sometimes get huge openings and then wait, don't react to them, play the round out a little bit further, wait until there's like 20 seconds left, and then ultimately, execute and win the round anyway.
Yeah, refreshing the style, so to speak, as well. Bringing in some new elements, as you mentioned, kind of updating to a meta that was emerging out of COVID, out of the online era. So yeah, this is two teams. This should be a really, really fun clash.
And a lot could be decided on, like, let's say, like the trajectory you set at the start of a new season like this. It doesn't have to be true that if you start really hot, it's just going to keep on going. But sometimes it can be a little bit rough if you have to recover like a huge loss where you're like, oh, we just got absolutely knocked out and it didn't feel right.
It's kind of funny. It's one of those things that I think more often than not probably would have been memed upon, but ever since Yekindar has joined this Liquid lineup, when you see them talking in interviews and see them and talk to them, behind the scenes even, it's always like, look, with Yekindar's addition, we can be a top 5 team. Like, we can be there quick. We're going to be a playoff team. Our expectations are top 4 at this event, are making it to the stage and everything like that. And I think that would be an easy thing to kind of laugh and shrug off. But after we saw kind of where they were headed in Cologne, nobody's laughing. Everyone is like, yeah, okay, maybe you're not quite there yet. Maybe the expectations are high a little bit early, but we all understand why the expectations are there. We can actually see it. We have the evidence that this team is going to be dangerous again.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And we haven't even talked about our boy Naf.
Yeah, he's just chilling down there, still putting up amazing numbers. Still one of my favorite players to watch.
Absolutely,
in the world. So, yeah, I think he's, but the fact that he also is taking this slightly more sort of like a backseat, kind of like, but doing his job and just.
That's where Naf does his best work, in the backseat, baby, in the shadows, no spotlight on him, just naffing around.
Well, here we go. We're ready for it, ladies and gentlemen. With delay a little bit, but now the game is going to be live, and it is Liquid versus G2. It's a best of 1 with a lot on the line because both these teams, they need to keep the momentum going forward. They can't really afford to slow it down. For G2, maybe even more so. Liquid, they look so dangerous in the last season. We'll see if they've managed to keep that going throughout the break and are going to be ready for this one. They're on the T side with G2 on the CT side.
Looks like a call right out of spawn towards the B bomb site on this pistol. Just pick a strat out of the book and go for it. Hooksie's here with Hunter on catwalk in defense. Rotation is a long way off. It is just these two players to defend against everything.
Well, the pressure is absolutely on. Hooksie's still running for it. Hunter, though, good headshot and an even better follow-up, taking down Nitro and Neff and putting the bomb on the ground so everyone can start to rotate over Release. She's got the 1 kill. Yekindar sent here top mid, and he is also on his own. They're in a little bit of trouble here, Liquid. Still no bomb plant happening. They haven't even really recovered the bomb yet. Elige back here by the bench, and that P250 is at least something that they have to respect, or maybe they don't. JKS takes 1 and a follow-up on OC, and they close out the round very well.
That round feels over when Hunter gets that double kill, just stepped in front of the smoke. You could see the Liquid players didn't even really think about that position as a point of danger. They're expecting that smoke to block everything off, and he just steps in front of it. So a little too deep. And Hunter's able to take advantage of the double kill and shut down all the aggression. If you're not able to wrap around that bomb site, you can see that's the idea from Liquid, and that's the idea we see frequently at those B hits. If you can't actually turn that corner and wrap around to clear out those pillars, you're in for some trouble.
JKS is such a... I actually don't know what kind of story I even want us to try and tell with JKS at this point in time, because when he was on Complexity, there was... For me, he was sort of almost representing a kind of player that would almost always be forgotten when talking about really great riflers. And then I don't think he ever really got a chance to show any of it in Complexity. And then, he went off the map entirely for a real long time with no team to play in at all. And now back into it, you wonder, could he recover it? Because if you've missed the really great era of JKS before Complexity, probably even
Renegades, 100 Thieves,
it really was crazy to see. Like, he really has a high ceiling, but it's been gone for a while.
Yeah, I think part of the weird thing for me with JKS's career and like a big picture is I always like kind of had him in, you know, maybe this is probably more my mistake, but I always kind of compared him to like where he needed to be like a kind of superstar for the old Australian teams, and when you kind of have those expectations, he's always falling short. And I think obviously he shows just how much he can deliver as kind of a piece of the team and not necessarily having to be the center point, the focal point.
Yeah, just step up. Ooh, nice little lineup there. They do only have Glocks and no armor, so it doesn't really necessarily make a big difference. But yeah, I just want to see a steady output from JKS, right? Someone to be relied upon to just do the average working around, and then we can build from there. I feel like that would be a good start.
And he's gonna have his games too. He's gonna have his games where he pops off. 2-0 for G2 early. Second round, no issues, no stress, no pressure, no dramas.
That's what you want to see. Liquid, though, quickly back in it with rifles. They picked up all AKs and a fair bit of grenades to follow it up. Right now, in the starting of the third round, they have 2 kills across the entire team. It's not the end of the world, but means G2 are happy about the money, at least. Decent nade right there. Tagging up Nitro. And he's going to keep going. Runs into the shot there. JKS well aware of what could be happening. And that will slow them down quite a bit.
A little bit of lack of cohesion on this G2 side. 3 players at this very same corner. All eat, you know, is superficial damage from the grenade. Not too much to worry about, but huddled up for a moment. And as they try and change those positions and get out of that clump, Naf is able to take advantage.
That was a friendly nade, right?
On a G2?
Onto, yeah, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
I want to say that it was. Maybe.
I think in my head I was hoping it was a T-side nade.
That would make more sense, but maybe I'm crazy. It's possible.
Well, now you're making me feel crazy, so thanks for that. Yekindar eats a dink. Elige is going to pop up from underpass, and JKS is spot on.
That's a job well done. Elige out of the round. Someone you really want to shut down early. If we're to assume that his performances from the last season will continue to this one, getting him out of any round is going to be important. Maybe especially on a map like Mirage, where he seems to be doing pretty well. 3 versus 4 at the moment at about 30 seconds. And they're all grouped up in the middle looking for an opening, which they're not currently getting. G2 are a little bit further back. It's hard to find them at the moment. JKS going to swing in for the fight. It's a really good triple that he's building in this round. So far, pretty much won it on his own. Manisi will come in the headshot and time to just make it out if you're Yekindal. Can't even escape. Nico is going to come for the jump and yeah, good strong claps.
Thanks for that. Thanks for leading me right into it. Yeah, it was a team nade. You're not crazy. It was me that was crazy the whole time.
So I've been saying this, Jason, for years.
3-0. Pistols and armor picked up for Team Liquid.
Those camera shots at the end are always, with the audio, is great. I'm happy we have them. Random pistols being picked up here on the Liquid side. But it's a slow start, and the problem is that you don't have space for that in best of ones. Not that much anyway. So, not saying that Liquid are necessarily feeling pressured yet, but eventually they're going to start to feel like they need to do a little bit more. Still not even the AWP picked up on Monacy. Hasn't lost the M4, so hasn't really needed to, but that's something else to think about. Although, I actually think, again, if you get like a Monacy OC matchup, that's going to be hard for me to pick who's winning that.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I mean, both of them offers, I think, too. I mean, OC certainly proved, you know, a couple of times that he's very, very proficient with the rifle. Monacy's going to be as well. Not just one-trick ponies. Nico is on the hunt. Doesn't want to give up a rifle by peeking in, waiting for Hunter to get over towards Catwalk. If Hunter can draw some contact, yeah, Nico's going to peek out just like this. Missed his opportunity, but they have all the information. Yekindar with a stunner on a JKS, challenging into the A bomb site. However, the bomb is dropped at the base of the connector stairs, and Nico is going to clean things up nice and easy. More strong claps.
Yeah, foundation of any good Counter-Strike team.
That's why Dexter was brought into OG. Those strong claps, high fives.
I wonder if eventually your hands just become numb and it's like
forms calluses from all the high fives.
Just, or like one of those, you know, construction workers who's been spending too much time on the power tools, so can't feel anything. Fifth round is coming up. We've got OZ on the AWP. We've got Monacy as well. So some upgrades coming through. And Liquid have yet to find their first round. Let's see if this is going to be it. Monacy doing a little bit of parkour on top of the scaffolding, but he's going to be missing the shot. So could have been dangerous. That one for OZ probably could have connected as well. Both AWPers giving away maybe some potentials for some openings here, but didn't really didn't connect. Bomb dropped pretty far back in the B hallways.
Ooh, nice shot from Elise jumping up on the bench. Hunter's caught. Nico and JKS gonna start trying to get aggressive and connector to trade it out. They do have a player in window, that's Monacy, but he's smoked off yet again. So that little trap, that little piece of aggression they were trying to set up is neutralized. No real presence at the A bomb site. Everyone's focused on mid. Even Hooksy being pushed up on catwalk. Yekindar and Elise can open up middle, crack it open. Now the B hit needs to come, and Monacy's gonna be here with the AWP.
Yeah, maybe just in time. Always pushed in. This is so dangerous. He's all in on this defense, and he's gonna get sideswiped by Naf. A nice find and a 40-second bomb plant here, so gonna have plenty of time for it. Not worried about that catwalk either. 2 versus 3. And questionable, yeah. G2, even with the money in the bank, not really worth going for.
Yeah, Monacy just missed the timing by 1 second. He's hoping he's going to beat them in, and he just obviously never saw that player get out and wrapping around the bomb site. So, good job from Team Liquid. Good work from Elise and Yekindar in mid. A kill each. And that gives them the information. Remember, they'd already killed Hunter. That was the shot, and then Yekindar grabs Hooksy. Those are the 2 B players, so immediately the information is passed over to Team Liquid. Look, bomb site's clear. The player you're going to have to contend with is the rotator.
And, you know, one of those kills even from Nico happens right through the smoke, so that's probably what even gave them close to a chance to send Monacy over there. Otherwise, they probably would have given it up already. Ooh, all right. Liquid are on the board. And that was about time. Starting to fall, drift a little bit further behind.
Yeah, don't want to play from a hole, so this at least gives them some breathing room.
Ice cold. 6th round coming up. Double up now. Hooksy with the other one. Maybe a little bit unexpected.
Yeah, I'd say so. It's a bold decision. Let's see how it works out. Nico's jumped out a window. He's got a smoke in the underpass. He's going to challenge. He goes down to Yekindar. Good entrance provided. Good first kill. Good second kill. A better second kill from Yekindar.
Something that I really associate with Yekindar's style is the confidence behind every single fight that he takes. So impressive to watch. Hooksy's over here. Great angle, obviously, with the AWP. Going to be really, really hard to check coming in from the T side. And if you do flash it out, then you're also kind of signaling that you're taking the hallway, so it doesn't always work out that way either. JK has to take down Naf.
That's a good fight to win. That's a tough fight considering the way Naf was playing it. And now Liquid's going to go right at the double op setup. This is perfect. Monacy's here on catwalk. First kill comes out from Hooksy.
Smoking enough to buy a little bit more space, but they don't know about that second AWP. And Elise, he jumps right into it. And this is a great crossfire though. Yekindar. How does he come up with that kill? I didn't even know. Hooksy missing the flick and lucky to be alive, it seems. 2 versus 2. And now 35 seconds. Making his way in. JKS trying to get there in time, but the bomb is at the very least going to be planted. Liquid, I can't believe they even get this far. Yekindar very low behind that nade. OC with a lot of health and still with that AWP trained on the market. Might have a chance here. Hooksy's going to walk into it. The gun barrel's going to be showing if he's not careful. Just a little bit slow. And Hooksy goes down. JKS now, not a lot of health, and he's already been found out. Trying to even get the pre-fire, but there's no reason for them to fight him right now. They can wait. He has to get on there and try and get that defuse, and they're being very patient on the Liquid side. I love everything about this. That bomb is so far ticking to see it, and JKS, he finds a headshot, but Yekindar, there's a whole bomb site to look at, and he's going to end up winning it. Quad kill at the end. What a magical round.
Yeah, the 1v1 clutch was always unlikely for JKS in that situation, so we'll throw that kill out the window for Yekindar. The other 3 are all high impact. The first 2 kills clearing out the aggression in mid from Nico and Hunter, and obviously that shot on Monacy saves the day, because you're exactly right. That's a tough double op setup to break into as 4 players coming through the B halls. This is magnificent. So quick, Monacy couldn't even react.
Second round for Liquid. That's all Yekindar at the end of it.
And a win right as G2 invested in the double op setup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a lot of money, a lot of resources taken away immediately. I'm interested by the decision. I guess this would kind of be depending, how you look at the game of Counter-Strike philosophically, but investing in double op setup and then having like the aggressive play in middle from your two riflers, not kind of making the double op the focal point. Now, obviously the double op still almost recovered and probably I think recovers in that similar scenario more often than not if Yekindar doesn't hit that banger of a shot.
Yeah, it looked like it should have worked. But yeah, that's certainly a huge economic loss for the side of G2.
Still with money to buy though. Just really labored. FAMAS on Monacy, 3 M4s and an SMG on Hooksy. And this time, no presence in middle or connector for G2. A much more passive defense sunk back into the bomb sites. Nico and Monacy playing for an execute.
And maybe lost a little bit in the last round is the fact that JKS actually went and took that fight in the A Palace. He's currently 8-2 right now. So, I mean, if he can be relied upon to win those kind of fights kind of on his own, that is massive. That's the kind of thing that can maybe get you back into a round like it almost did.
Yeah, Naf's very good in that position as well, so that's going to be a tough duel between those two throughout the game. Former teammates as well, if you'll remember.
Oh, yeah. Elige smoking it off and trying to make sure that he could get a little bit of control. A monstrous nade landing at his feet. And Yekindar beating the smoke on the other side. That might be a little bit of a shock inside of the bomb site. They might not be ready quite for it. Hunter is taking down Yekindar. That's a nice little pick off there. Grenade behind him, but he's going to shoot him in the back instead. And all the pressure on this MP9. 1 versus 3 in the bomb site, and no chance for Hooksy to defend that one.
And due to the style of Team Liquid, that was kind of quiet, walking through the catwalk smoke and progressing towards the bomb site. There's no indication it's coming, so no chance for any of the A players to shift over and rotate and be nearby to kind of help hold on to the site. Good kill for OC, getting aggressive as Hunter's attention is towards the halls. And that SMG had no chance from Hooksy.
Yeah, you never really feel good about that when the pressure is on. A little bit different if he had some backup that could draw some of the attention away, but that had already been wiped out. Liquid, 3rd round. This is a good recovery. I was getting a little bit nervous because I think I picked. I did the predictions over at Blaster TV, and I picked Liquid to go out first in this group.
Okay.
So
you're huffing on that copium real hard.
I'm double, tripling down.
Yeah.
There's no more jet lag for the NA teams. They've made their way past that. They've become immune.
Yeah, it's the Euros who use it now.
Yeah. Maybe because they don't really have to like necessarily fly that far, but maybe it's like motion sickness, like they're in the car a lot. Like
yeah.
Tough, you know.
Sure. A little case of vertigo.
Exactly. Oh, man. They keep some rifles alive on the G2 side, so they can fight back in this one. But it's a slow but pretty steady recovery from Liquid at the moment. Liege, wow, just walks right out there.
This is cool. All right. Well, we're in the bomb site, boys. And this isn't a bad call whatsoever when you think of all the attention that G2 has put towards connector and towards middle. The problem now is there's really only like kind of 3 players at this bomb site for Liquid. Nitro's a little bit disconnected underpass. Yekindar's going to have to make a decision. Those two have to coordinate which one's going to lurk, which one's going to stick around, which one might have to get aggressive. Because G2 actually has power of bodies at this bomb site, but just, I mean, a slow, creeping, crawling hit into the A site doesn't let them coordinate anything. Really good call from Liquid.
Yeah, that's amazing to see. Nico trying to play on top of the smoke, and he's going to be able to pick up Naf. Still feels like this is an impossible retake, although 2 of the members of Liquid are quite far away, so I guess if they're really quick with it, maybe G2 could do something there. Sit in the headshot, and now they need to get everyone here. OC is covering this deep line in towards jungle, so he's going to know everything. Nice shot onto Monacy, and I think they still have a pretty good chance of it here. No smoke on top of the bomb, no kit either, so it's a real long time before they get close to this defuse. 10 seconds, as you could tell, and they're getting picked up as well. The kid are no trouble fighting this one, and they're going to be able to save the day, but for a minute there, if there had been a smoke and a kit, that could have been a really dangerous round.
Yeah, that round worked out perfectly for Liquid. The call into that defense was magnificent. That was exactly what you would have wanted making that call as a strategy. And I mean, you can see how it might have been a little bit more difficult if there was someone actually committed to the A bomb site to be able to slow that down, maybe grab 1 kill, and then maybe force Yekindar and Nitro into plays in mid before they really want to. But all around, well put together round from Liquid. 4 in a row.
Yeah, they're bringing it back. That naked walkout onto the out of the A Palace is just, on the one hand, it looks so silly, but it can be absolutely devastating if you're down there, because you're so used to there being, you know, flashes like this one to set it up and for someone to peek a little bit more. But
I mean, just look at how it was played. G2 had the bodies there, but they never had the information of how to put them into play exactly. It's, you know, you get out, you have such a huge advantage, especially in terms of information. This time, HooXi and JKS firmly in the bomb site with NiKo close by.
HooXi putting himself in that sandwich position, which, with 2 Molotovs, maybe not a high chance that it gets burned out, but it could be. And that's an awkward way to lose an early defender in the A-bomb site.
Yeah, especially with Naf up in halls. If Nitro's a Molotov out that cubby position, Naf can actually peek out. He's going to use it for dark. No one's underneath balcony. JKS and HooXi with a bit of a crossfire setup. Naf needs to be stopped before he commits, and HooXi's not peeking. HooXi's not peeking whatsoever, and JKS is dropped stone cold inside the site. HooXi now activated, but it might be too late. He cannot get the second.
Yeah, and just as that was happening, they also made their way up the connector behind, so I don't know, maybe if that connector position could have been defended, HooXi could have had more of a chance to take that fight, but they were all around him no matter what. They're honestly gonna have to try and save the AWP, but it's another great round for Liquid. What an impactful return that we're seeing.
And these past 2 rounds are kind of the stylistic changes that we mentioned of Team Liquid historically since Yekendar's been brought in. These are kind of rounds that you wouldn't normally see Liquid calling in previous iterations at all.
Heard something. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's working out well for them, though. Honestly, just trying to save the AWP, but they're all on top of him, and they should be able to find it. Elige will get the closing kill, and this is starting to look like a really great first half for them.
That one's a hard crossfire to kind of set up, because if you're HooXi, you don't want to be peeking towards halls the entire time, but maybe jiggle peeking it either way. JKS cannot go down that easy without any kind of indication of what's coming.
Yeah, because, I mean, we just mentioned the Molotovs, right? If you're HooXi and you stay too far out, maybe you just invite the Molotov right away, and they're like, oh, well, we spotted them already. So.
Or if you jiggle and take a fight and don't get the kill, then you definitely know the Molotov's coming in after that, so... Yeah, just a setup that did not pan out whatsoever for G2. Liquid on fire.
Yeah, just physics problem here that you're contemplating.
Some gasoline layered on top.
There we go.
Yeah, oil spill.
I've seen a few of those, my little oopsies.
I seen Free Willy.
Want to see. Caught NiKo right afterwards. Nitro able to pick that one up. Second kill of the game for Nitro, so he's been having a little bit of a more quiet time, but his team is winning. He's making all the right calls, captaining them into to a lead, so I don't know if I can complain even too much about that. 5 versus 3 at the moment. He's still doing a bit of damage.
Oh,
OC nearly shot by a teammate.
Got shot by a teammate. Ooh, there's the play, and Elige is still in middle. He's found that kill. All 5 players from Team Liquid alive until Nitro goes down here to HooXi's Deagle, left with 1 HP. It's going to be a 6th round for Team Liquid. They take a 2-round lead.
Yeah. Not going to be able to find another one. There's a lot of damage in that round. Could have been nice with another couple of kills there for the CT side, but they weren't able to. So more money being built on the Liquid side, slowly but surely. NiKo. Curious to see if we could get him activated into to some of these rounds. I mean, I feel like it's almost no bad NiKo games anymore, and he is 9-4. So I'm not necessarily saying this is one of them either, but right now would be a good time for him to get a couple of quick kills, get his team back on track. Modesty instead. Good pick off on Nafly.
That's what we wanted, or that's what G2's wanted to see more of, is those plays with the AWP early on in rounds to give you a man advantage. Deep flashbang almost gave NiKo a half second for a clean fight against Yekindar, but didn't swing and commit. 5 on 4. HooXi's got his op over towards the B bomb site. That jump shows that Nitro wanted to be a bit more aggressive. Now he's got a Mac 10, so he was hoping he could lead the way in clean with pace and with speed, but utility stops him in his tracks.
A lot of shuffling around in the hallway. How do you get yourself back into the round? 4 versus 5. Got some utility at the very least. And you've got OC still in place, so maybe just throw him in and try and look for the opening.
Ooh, this is everything. JKS with aggression, finds the MAC-10, finds the bomb, and is going to back away. But OC's going to step forward, and the Flames will find that kill. Down to about half HP.
That's a really smart play from OC. And also from JKS, he saw it coming. Instead of swinging for a second fight, he's like, no, let me just control this bomb and slow them down. So he did the right thing, just...
OC's heading back to the B bomb site. I don't know if Nico can hear that footsteps, but he's activated Yekindar to find one more kill. This could get dicey. Now you have Hunter all alone with no reinforcements at the B bomb site, and he's got to hold his nerve. Bailing out towards Market, Liquid might find the opening. OC's got to hustle up. There's 16 seconds on the clock, and Alish has control of the B site.
Yes, he does. They should not be winning this round at all, Liquid. I feel like they should have already lost it. 9 seconds
OC's
now.
down.
Oh,
No.
yes, he is. It had be done. The bomb, he can't get it back. That is a sad way to lose the round, but... that was the one kill that mattered. What a strange victory.
That was, I think, the only win condition for G2 in this round was really Hunter finding that kill as OC crossed in. What a brutal way to lose it.
That desperate jump from Elige as well. They're like, is the bomb up there?
Yeah, please.
Oh, man.
Still, I think you got to say tactically, another round where Liquid put themselves in advantage, and obviously a great play from Hunter, a great shot from Hunter to put a stop to it, but Liquid is working G2's defense right now.
Yeah, that was actually a beautiful round to look at in every way, just a little bit short.
And what a brutal way, I guess, in a sense, to win a round. You have one player surviving, you've lost a lot of weaponry. I think you've lost that AWP. Nico might have gone and picked one up right at the end, but this is a lot of resources, and it's going to be out of a victory. Economy is garbage for G2.
Yeah, that is definitely worth thinking about too.
Yeah.
6-5.
2 SMGs, a UMP, FAMAS. This is going to be a rough one.
It's a rare sight, the UMP these days.
Yeah, it really is. Rifles in the hands of Nico and Hunter, and they've been very proactive in middle throughout this half.
Senses it, sets up his own flashbang, but he is peeking against 2 players. That's... I appreciate the courage on that one, but that would have been an almost impossible fight, even if you won one of them. Yeah, almost certainly traded.
At best, that was going to be a 1-for-1. Yekindar, with knowledge that 2 players were pushed up in halls, he's going to say, you don't really have the manpower, the resources to have too staunch of a defense in middle, so I'm going to take some space. Nice thing for G2 is that actually gets rid of the UMP. Monacy's able to trade out to the AK-47.
Tough break when you're playing so much of a solo position if you're NAF that you actually have to flash for yourself. You know, like that's not always easy to do.
Well, and, you know, ooh, what a find. Oh, that one, JKS wants it back. Oh, OC, not scoped in. Shots baited out. Nico's going to clean up that kill. Does he want to go for Elige as well? Flashbang, he's going to peek with it. Surely, and he does. Second kill for Nico, and the bomb is dropped again.
That's what we're talking about. We mentioned it earlier with Nico having an impact on the game, and that one was massive. And the way that he played it, absolutely expertly. Not peeking into the AWP, but baiting out the shot instead. Monacy's going to get that one, and Yekindar can't save the round this time. Nicely done. G2 not surrendering quite so soon. Looked like they were going to get swiped out in this first half. Looked like they're going to get wiped off the board, but they're back in the mix.
Yeah, good to see some fight in him here in this round. This is wonderful. Yeah, Nico does a great job in middle, obviously. Damage onto OC puts him in an impossible situation, baits out the shot, and then the cleanup onto Elige, committing to the fight, knowing he's going to be blind. Tough fight for Elige. Good double kill from Nico.
Surviving with not still that many rifles, but certainly better than it was the last round. Timeout being used now by Liquid. First one as well. Just to talk things over. I've got to say the calling so far on the T side for Liquid has been really impressive.
It's been impressive that G2's hanging on as well. Still in this. All tied up at 6. Got 12 kills on Yekindar, leading the way for Team Liquid. Over on the G2 side of things, Nico's matching that with 12 of his own.
And still a really, I mean, if G2 win the next 3 rounds here, it's 9-6. It's such an open game, so they have a lot still to fight for in the best of 1.
And they've got a chance, although there's a losing bonus, a 2-round losing bonus built up for Team Liquid, but they're out of money after this buy, so the next round you'd get to breathe a little bit easier with G2, where it'd be kind of upgraded pistols, maybe some MAC-10s and armor. Nitro again looking to lead the way with the Tech 9, use that mobility to really cause some chaos in this B defense.
Well, Nitro, he's ready for it. Gonna be running straight in there. Molotov out, makes the jump down, but Hunter's there in the crossfire, and even flashed. He gets the kill on Liege. That's a great way to get things stopped. 2 kills going the way of G2, and a 3-on-5 now. Started to rotate a lot more people this way, so already seeing the gun barrel there. Hunter calling it, and he definitely knows what's happening. Oh, but OC, you have to be so quick to shut him down. Could we have another one, please? That was a great Hooksy, though, right underneath them. And OC is going to be found as well. Bullet to the face. Once again, Yakindar trying to see if he can save the day, but this seems like one of the more unwinnable clutches.
He's got time. That's the one thing. And Monacy's played this pretty passively, so he's got to be cautious. JKS is now just arriving over to market, so Yakindar might be able to find an awkward timing. But Monacy's clearing out the site. Now he's got a deep angle towards Hulls. And yeah, now in position to where this should be impossible, but maybe not.
Come on! How does he hit the shot? He's made his way past 20 seconds. He almost had it. That is real close. JKS there to clean it up in the market. That's important, but man, how does he even get close to winning a round?
That's the second time he's just completely annihilated Monacy holding an angle at this bomb. So remember, previously it was towards Catwalk. This time it's towards the back of the bomb site. Absolutely disgusting. But once again on this B hit, Hunter with a critical double kill to slow things down and take the main thrust of danger out of the hit from Team Liquid.
Yeah, the money is not great. Yakindar in that AK-47 in the 14th round. Hard to even really blame because look at what you get for it. Instant shutdown. Nico thought he was going to go take that fight. Yakindar absolutely ready.
And the defense has shifted over to Connector. The A bomb site once again is wide open. JKS over the smoke gets one. 1-for-1 trade. Yakindar again with impact, but this is where Monacy's got to have a big performance. A nice double kill with the op.
Yeah, that'll really slow it down. They have rifles in the middle, but no one can really get to them either. Another find for Monacy. It's a great triple. Leaving Yakindar in another 1 versus 3 clutch this time to try and see if he can end it. But Hunter will take him down, and G2, they're right back on top. This is such an exciting first half. I love it.
Yeah, respectable attempt from Yakindar and Team Liquid as well. That's the Hero AK-47 that provides you 2 opening kills and almost gives you an avenue into the bomb site. Good shutdown from Monacy to close that gap in the defense. 2-round lead, final round of the first half.
Again, the confidence, though, on someone like Yakindar to take the fight in the middle is just, it's impressive. Want to feel what it's like to play the game with just knowing I'm just gonna run in here and take this fight and just win it, and then do it. Can't say the words, but
yeah, the action is different.
just toying with him. Oh man, that is great. Nitro getting the kill. Very frustrating when you're an AWP player like that. You feel like, all right, I've already been exposed.
And that's a play that had no plan B to it. That's Monacy, drop in, see what you find. No flashbang, no smoke to kind of give him some cover to try and make any kind of an escape whatsoever. No support in middle to guard his back.
Who wants to plan for failure, Jason, you know?
True. The coach, probably.
We're planning to win this.
Jumping shot missed. Nitro looks like he wants to pick up the pressure. They've had some difficulty getting out, but at least this time it's only Hooksy here. It's only the one player. Hunter's been pulled off. He's got a long route to come for support, so it's all on the new in-game leader for G2.
Yep, and a pretty good job he's doing as well. Huge double. This time he did not have the MP9. M4A1 treating him a little bit better. Hunter's going to go down to Naf, and somehow in the middle of all of this, Nico did actually get a shot for the smoke all the way from the A-bomb side onto Catwalk, so that's why one of them is dead and why it's a 2-on-3 here. But it's another bomb plant. 15th round going to be settled in a retake now. JKS and Nico. Nico has been playing a great first half, and so is JKS. Only 2 kills between them at the moment. That is actually wild to imagine. Elige on the one side, Naf a little bit deeper in the bomb side, and he's not ready for it. It looks like he's about to die. Oh, switching out the gun. I'm shocked that Elige doesn't even realize, and now Naf, he's really boxed in, cornered back here. Bullets are already coming through. He's been tagged up. He is 1 spam away from death, and it'll be Nico to find it. What? They don't have it.
Kit.
Oh, they didn't have it just in time either. I don't think this is going to be it.
Classic
It'll be Liquid
G2.
instead. Yes, it is. Oh, devastating, Jason.
Yeah, devastating. What a good half from both teams, though. We're neck and neck. We're headed to a break. When we come back, we're going to get the conclusion. Don't go anywhere. This one's stunning.
Hey guys, I'm Zera, and he is Jax.
Hi guys, it's Simple and Madden.
I'm Nico and this is Robs, and today we're going to be playing Skin in the Game by CS Money.
Hate, don't move.
Artna Simple, no. Monesi, no for sure. Deco, no. Who is Broky?
Brown.
Maybe Broky, no?
No.
Maybe it's... No, the Kenny's one is Battle Scared, yeah?
I don't know this, to be honest.
Okay, we need second guess. Second sticker, please. Who else had a sick highlight with video up? What did Colzera have when he did jump shots on Mirage? With the clip. Yeah. Let's just go for Colzera.
Colzera, it's MLG Columbus 2016.
Bro, I have no clue this, to be honest, but...
Let's do like
Cobblestone.
Fallen, Dreamhack, Cluj-Napoca, Cobblestone.
Right.
Colzera, 2016 Major. What was the name of the
MLG Columbus.
MLG Columbus 2016.
The Clutch King, it's a red one. I think it's Robs, but
Can be. But I tried to find a clip with someone doing a sick show with his fucking intro.
yeah.
I'll take a clue on this one.
You have one more help?
Robs, you are sure Robs
Yeah,
was
yeah,
playing? Because maybe it's Robs against us in Katowice.
I think Katowice, no? It was in the grand final?
Yeah, it was Katowice grand final against FaZe, right? Against G2, sorry.
Against G2, yeah.
Yeah.
I just go...
It is 100% me then. Robs, Katowice 2020.
I think in finals, I think against
In the
G2.
finals against you too.
2021, Katowice, Robs.
We both have the kill confirmed, but in Star Trek, so...
Yeah. Yes, we take the other picture.
Second.
Welcome back, everybody. Second half, and it's been quite the struggle, really, for both teams. I'm impressed. I mean, it looked like for a minute, started out G2 looking great, 4-0, I think, and then Liquid came right back, and then G2 managed to recover the game after all. So, split right down the middle, 8-7, slightly in favor of G2 going into the second half.
Yeah, that was actually a really awesome first half. I really enjoyed that. Both teams brought some awesome stuff to the table.
Oh, and this might be a fiery start.
Yeah, it certainly will be. Kind of G2 just running the Liquid pistol around as well. We'll see who does it better. At least Liquid have some players close by in position to provide a little bit more support.
Are they going to wait for the smokes? I feel like they're going so quick. I'm not even sure the smokes are going to go in down. Jumping in, flashes are there. OC will pick up the one headshot there. Hooksie's out of the round, but Hunter, a little bit of a return. Modesty, nice opening so far. Yekindai in a little bit of trouble, and he's going to get run down. They just pick up the USPs immediately and keep fighting. Elige risking his life to try and get his team back into it. If he gets caught there, the round is definitely over. But the fact that they got the kill means maybe it's doable. Nitro, there's a headshot, and he had a chance there. JKS eventually will find his head. No bomb plant yet. And Nitro in a 1 versus 2.
Nitro just trying to get some of those jiggle shots on this P250. A dangerous game. Trying to find an avenue out of the window, out of the market. Bomb is shifted over in the hands of Nico to the bench, so it's not in danger of being planted. So Nitro may not realize it, but he can be patient here.
He's probably really confused about the fact that there is no bomb plant yet at all. So 35 seconds. Let's see. JKS is the one on low health, so Nico could maybe take the fight to him, but it's a long time to be waiting still. 25 seconds, and he's going to spot out Nico. Maybe that'll confirm it for him. Maybe he's thinking, all right, maybe that's why they didn't plant yet. They can just throw it over if they really don't want to cross, but finally going to be able to. Nitro with a good headshot. He's already got the double. He needs one more bullet. Nico almost dead. I can't believe it. I thought for sure Nitro would have had that one, but Nico... Oh man, able to bring it back.
G2 slowing it down in that 2v1 and trying to find a way to double peek onto Nitro, and that almost was kind of their undoing, right? It gave Nitro some chances because they couldn't actually find the choke point to double peek into. Gave Nitro a couple of 1v1s, and yeah, it got to be heartbreaking for Nitro at the end. 1 bullet away from victory. Both pistols now going to G2.
And that's a good boost of momentum to start the second half with. 9-7 at the moment, and the 17th round is coming up. And Nico, 17-7. I mean, we probably shouldn't be surprised. This is almost every game that he's in, but it's still so crazy. It's so crazy to me how you can keep doing it, for not just for like a month or two, but for years, it feels like. And still, Yekandar matched on the other side with 17 of his own.
Yeah, he's one of those few players that's been able to keep it up across the span of, I mean, you said years, what, it's got to be 6 years now, essentially. 7 years, perhaps. Nico challenging, taking a tag from the Deagle, throwing a weak EU nade.
Trying to change the meta, right? Oh, that's going to be a long struggle, Jason. I'm not going to lie, but I appreciate the effort.
I'll take the battle.
Woo. Some NA Deagling coming in here.
Careful now, G2, with this kind of slow crawly style. They've been finding some isolated duels. Hooksy's picked off with no chance at a rebuttal. Good response from Monacy to even things up in a 4-on-4. Still, G2 have not aggressed towards a bomb site quite yet.
Under 40 seconds in the round 2. So eventually going to make up your minds here, and it looks like they're going to try and split that A bomb site. JKS, top connector, powerful position to be in. Nitro up close with the Deagle. He pretty much has to get at least one of these kills for this even to be possible. And I think failing that, it's just not going to be good enough. Nice spray. And the fact that they set it up with a flash to make sure that OC couldn't really find a good, clean shot with a scalp. Just overall, good basics, good mechanics coming out from the side of G2.
Yeah, great control with the spray on the Galil at long range as well. We frequently see that gun get away from even the pros. Nicely done from Nico. 10-7 will be the scoreline when all is said and done. And for Elige and Naf, you're just looking for some exit kills, a weapon, a rifle right at the end of the round.
Elige would love a partying kill on someone here, but I'm sure they're going to give it to him. Well, let's see. Oh, he's thinking about it at least. Sensed somehow. Oh, he wanted to do the trick, but couldn't.
Even if he pulled it off, he's got Nico and CT spawn waiting for him, so I think Elige was going to likely go down no matter what. Nap will survive, the only Deagle, the only armor. Into the next round for Team Liquid. Ooh, the double high five.
Trap.
That's a new tactic. Do you think you feel, you know, like when a player doesn't realize you're going for a high five and he just leaves you hanging, how awkward that can be? You think it's more awkward if, like, Nico moves his hand after the first one?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, what if you don't know what's coming? What if you don't know if it's like the single hard high five or the softer double high five?
And the second one just disappears into the air, and
yeah,
it's like, oh.
That's got to be its own level of watch people die inside.
Eventually, when I try my luck at coaching, we're gonna practice high fives with my team. That's actually all we're gonna be doing.
Okay. That is the trend of talent making awful decisions of heading off to coach. You're next in line.
You say awful, but I think it can work. Like, you got high five so sharp, the enemy team could hear it, like through the headsets and everything. They're gonna be listening. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, was that a whip that went off somewhere?" Are they high-fiving?
Wow, I bet Anders is coaching that team. Look at the high fives.
Yeah. But that's not the most important part. Branding is going to be incredible.
Sure. All right, here we go. First gun round of the second half. Gonna crank things up a bit. Op in the hands of OC. M4s across the board for Team Liquid.
Nice, steady start here. 4-round gap. And Liquid still think look very impressive on the T side. No guarantee that'll translate into the CT side here. And especially early on when they just have their first rifle buy, this is where you really want to see a quick return to the game. Because if you lose track of it here, you almost don't have that many chances. And this best of one format to start with is pretty brutal. Nico playing the whole way, OC on the other side. A lot of attention now being pulled down towards connector and middle. Nitro opening up and actually winning the fight against Hunter. That's a great start.
Yeah, but the pinch towards the A bomb site is coming. All three players, all three defenders for Team Liquid are top con, are jungle. It doesn't matter though, because Liquid has cleared out the other side of the map. All that's left is this single prong coming in. Liquid can all turn their gaze into this direction. OC holding the line is picked off by Monacy. Huge kill to find. Elige with the response, and now they're going to passive, or play it passive behind the smoke. They'll give up the site, give up the plant, and play for the retake.
And there's already a flank coming in so lightning fast, so even if they get the bomb plant here, I don't know how they can possibly make it out. Elige gonna get that kill, and that's easy. But even if it wasn't Naf, it would have been one of the 3 or 4 other people there, so that's a great way to get this done. Just, as you said, eliminating the mid part of that attack, and then they were pretty much home safe.
Yeah. Well done from Team Liquid. Nice opening kill by Nitro over the top of the smoke, over the top of the box, and Yekindar adding in with a nice headshot onto Hooksy, and that's the mid portion cleared. And from there, everything's a little bit easier. 11-8. G2 with a 3-round lead.
They really, really badly needed that round. And they get out of it with quite a few rifles alive, so it starts the money rolling a little bit on the Liquid side at the very least. 20th round here. Monacy on that AWP. That last round was tough. I mean, he got one of those important kills near the connector, but then there were, I think there were almost no more targets after that. There was smokes and flash, he couldn't see anything, so.
Yeah. Not much more he could find. Hooksy at top mid. Hunter in support. Molotov's a little bit early. Drops into the smoke and is extinguished immediately, so a little piece of utility that goes to waste. Hunter's still going to push up behind it, though. Confidence that nobody's going to be peeking the window. Oh, what a play from Naf.
He's been bored out there. The life of the B bomb side anchor, just not even sure what's happening. Finally going to go and check it out. And this is really good. Hunter surely never going to expect this to come. 45 seconds, and he's going to turn the corner. Ooh, a little bit slow, so at least he's going to have a second more to live, but they still have a lot of defense over at A.
And Naf doesn't want to push too early and get picked off by someone in middle. He's just in position to stop things. Look at Hooksy as well going towards the B bomb site. This is going to be a flank. I don't think there's not enough time to pull them back. There's 27 seconds on the clock, and if he does, Hunter is surely going to go down. Hunter might die anyways. Elige is going to have that pick. Once again, Liquid being the proactive one. This is a long period of silence for G2.
They need that bomb plant for Hooksy to even have a role in this round, and they need it right now. 10 seconds on the clock. They need to storm the bomb site, and they're just going to get wiped out. They probably were waiting for Hooksy to do something, but then they lose that mid player, and it's all done. Hunter goes down.
That felt way too long for G2 to be in position to attack and not actually pulling the trigger on it. And then at a certain point, Liquid's just going to be like, okay, we're just going to come find what's going on. And certainly with that clock running down, you can see as soon as Liquid realizes the play towards the 8 bomb site, it's not about play this smart. It's not about grab an angle. It's not about be passive. Everyone get aggressive, because if they have to spend like 5, 6, 7 seconds actually fighting us and trying to trade us, that's going to chew all the time off the clock to begin with. So that G2 offense falling flat. Another double high five. Maybe they just have it down.
But this time at an awkward angle, you know.
Southpaw.
Yeah, stuff to work on, but maybe not the most important thing right now. It's actual real stuff happening in the server.
It's important to know as well, a round like that looks silly, but I mean, obviously we see it all the time with teams that bring in new in-game leaders. There are rounds that are going to get away from you like that as you kind of get acclimated to, I mean, obviously a new in-game leader and then also a new player in JKS.
And I mean, if that A defense is a little bit further back, and instead of Hunter going down, they kind of get an opening in a bomb plant, then Hooksy's position is insane. So there are ways to make it work, but
yeah, it just felt too late in the round. Obviously, maybe it's different if Naf is actually at the B bomb site, but with his positioning pushed up, that was always going to go that way. Good kill from Naf, not bored anymore. Looking for a second, and he's going to reposition.
With the teammate coming in as well, it's looking very, very good for this B defense at the moment. Yekindar on there already with the nade. Now the smoke on top to really slow them down. G2 kind of left no man's land at the moment.
That's the AK-47 hitting the deck one more time. Hunter's going to go pick that up. 40 seconds on the clock. There's no utility. All you're looking for at the moment is dry fights. And Elige is in an impossible position to clear.
Yeah, truly. JKS going to take a swing at it, but that doesn't really get a better result. So Naf with the double, Elige with a double, and Hunter is on his own. That AK has not been doing anyone any favors so far. And you can double survive as well. So it's a flawless round for Liquid. And yeah, the return is, again, pretty swift here in the second half.
Pretty swift and pretty convincing. You mentioned it, what, 3 rounds ago on their first win, had a lot of players surviving. This is now 3 rounds in a row where I think they've only lost 1, maybe 2 players across all 3 of those rounds, so they rich.
They've got it going on. Yeah, it's true. Almost 9,000 on NAF. That's pretty impressive. And we're nearly tied up. 11-10 right here. Liquid 1 round away. And G2, they need some of that magic back. Ooh, great read from OC. He saw it coming. Maybe heard it too. Hooksy's going to be out of it.
Yeah, Hooksy just missed the timing. A little bit late for that kind of a play. Picked off early. No chance of a trade for the G2 side of things. Now, don't get too worried if you're a G2 fan. Remember, the first half started out this way as well. I think G2 rattled off a 4-0 lead, looking solid, looking clean, and Liquid came storming back into it. So plenty of opportunity for G2 to kind of find the solution for the problem. The real issue isn't necessarily finding a round win, it's finding multiple, considering the economy and the money that's built up on Team Liquid.
But then again, playing on the T side, you would almost assume that this is where you could also send someone like Nico to do even more work, even though he's already been, you know, he's already been putting in some great hours. But maybe you could rely on him to open up some of these rounds just a little bit more. 45 seconds at the moment. Every single member of G2 is in the middle, which, yeah, if they can crack it open, but look at how they're escaping down that A ramp. So even if you get up the middle now, how are you going to check for both Nitro and Elige?
There's just so much time being spent just gaining map control. This just makes me a little bit nervous because not a whole lot of pressure on the map until very late in the round. Not a whole lot of pressure on the Liquid defense. 20 seconds and they still haven't found any contact. Elige with the off angle and Cubby gets dropped. OC picks off the bomb. That's JKS making the run. Naf on catwalk holds and we're in a 2-on-2.
I can't believe they actually find Nitro on the follow-up there. That's crazy. Oh, Yakina goes down. Hunter wins the fight. He probably should have been dead. And now Naf real far away. That is almost inexplicable how they managed to pick that one up. That should probably never have been a G2 round.
That's a huge win for Hunter off the bomb plant, sliding into the Yekindar angle. Yekindar didn't know he was planning, or he probably would have challenged for that kind of a fight. Here's JKS finding the opening, an all-important, critical, high-impact kill, even when he goes down afterwards. This is the follow-up from Hunter. We're extending this lead to 12-10 now. So G2 found a victory here.
I really thought that probably Nitro won the follow-up. Once they clear out Elige and Sandwich, they assume that that's it, but Hunter was so ready for it, so Nitro had no chance to do anything in the round. That was also a little bit interesting.
Timeout called. Coach is going to get involved in the action. Second timeout used by Team Liquid as they talk things over. We've touched on their money a couple of times. Liquid have a few opportunities to make sure that G2 can't build this into any kind of long-term momentum in this half. At least 2 buys left in the bank of Team Liquid.
They probably feel so good about this second half so far, Liquid, at least now that they have the rifles, that maybe, you know, we've seen Nef go a little bit aggressive at times. Nitro did try and get down the A ramp here. We haven't seen any real hard fight for mid control yet, but maybe they don't even need to because they're kind of winning without it. But I mean, sometimes you do that like three-man push with 2 of them pushing top mid, you know.
We saw in the first half, G2 tried to pull it off a number of times, and Yekindar did a pretty good job of shutting that down on multiple different occasions.
Let's see, OC setting up in the window, but it's smoked off so quick. Elige taking the fight and looked like he should have won it. Hunter was flashed and not really ready for it. Nico's still going to be going down, though. So it's an even trade, and with a good nade here, maybe Hunter is dead. It's going to bounce right off the back and blow him up. That's a great accuracy.
Yeah, cleaning up Elige's kill. Those two, Elige and Yekindar, go 2 for 1 in middle. B-bomb site under attack. Naf's on catwalk. OC just moving out of market right now. Attention is towards the op. Naf can hold the line, but OC's quick. Swings out for another fight. 2 kills for him in the bomb site, and there goes Monacy. Yekindar grabs his 3rd.
Nicely done. Getting a lot of people on that bomb site pretty quickly, and because OC is such an active AWP player, I don't think it's shocking to see him not just sort of defend the bomb site, but actually pushing forward after each peak and getting even more out of it. That's what, like 25 kills now on Yekindar, I think? So he's doing the work. And Liquid, after losing a round, they bounce right back.
There's a reason why we were so excited for him joining this team, and I think, you know, in his first event with Team Liquid at Cologne, it was more the strategic updating and the refreshed look of Team Liquid tactically, and kind of the concepts and kind of taking over the team energy and emotion was the big conversation. And now, obviously, with more time and more comfort in the team, I think we'll start seeing Yekindar putting up, you know, higher volume of frags throughout these games.
Another round where they don't lose a single player. So yeah, I mean that's horrifying to think about, because even the tactical side of it is obviously has already transformed Liquid in a big way, but now Yekindar is actually putting on some crazy numbers, leaving G2 in a weird position.
The other one's looking quiet right now. Timeout taken. So G2 coach is going to get involved. Xtaz has some things to say. Him and Hooksy going to try and improvise a solution with the very little time that they've had together. Nico said in the pregame interview with Banks that Hooksy reminds him of Kerrigan.
Big words.
That is big words.
That's a reputation to live up to. I don't think many people could ever really claim that. But I mean, Hooksy's a little bit early on in his career, so
yeah,
it's
very early on in his career.
This is a stupid thing, because Kerrigan is already cemented like a lot of his legacy even in 1.6. So
True.
It's so ridiculous to imagine. Hard to follow that one, but fair enough. But I mean, I guess you could still remind him just in terms of like the way of thinking about the game.
Stylistically, yeah. Certainly not in terms of impact, certainly not probably in terms of the level that he could in-game lead at, but certainly, you know, the base philosophy that you think of.
Also hard to know when Nico says it. Is it a compliment or a...
I'm sure it's a compliment. I would guarantee it's a compliment. Let's not go down that road.
I'm just stirring the pot.
Yeah, you really are. You're stirring the pot and putting a tinfoil hat on all at the same time.
Well.
Big ol' spoon. 12-12. G2 need something to be happy about. That's not it. JKS picked off, trying to chuck out a Molotov. Towards the B bomb site we go, and this is a perfect timing for it. There's no defense here. OC's on his hustle back. He's low HP. He might catch a player walking across. Modesty trying to be quiet.
And OC's still just... It's so crazy with the aggression, you know. She pointed out already low on health, so maybe at that point in time you wouldn't normally... Oh, that's unfortunate. Nico finding it, but maybe normally if you're OC, like, I already got 2 kills, let me just chill out for a minute, but he's still running into the bomb site anyway.
I mean, he had to make the play. He was the only one really coming over that could secure the bomb site. Naf was going to be on catwalk, which you can't really hold on to this site. You can maybe grab your 1 kill on the crossover, so OC was the only one really in position with that AWP. Liquid's about to take a 1-round lead.
And also shut down the money on the G2 side. Unless somehow Nico could get a bomb plant here, they were going to be in a lot of trouble. Swinging for it, but Crosshair in the wrong position. And it will be Liquid with that 1-round lead. 3 people surviving. Stress started the build on G2.
Yeah, still money growing for Team Liquid. Good shot from OC. And that's going to be another thing to keep your eye on with Team Liquid. Don't lose sight of OC's development as a player and as an AWPer with the addition of Yekindar and all the conversation that's going to be in that direction. Obviously, OC, I think, very early returns, already kind of being propped up to be the next great North American AWPer. He'll be the second one.
Yeah, I was going to say. Pretty much not even anyone near what OC is doing right now in the region.
Yeah, but I mean, certainly the potential and the desire and the feeling is there that he's even going to be able to eclipse Skadoodle as the best North American AWPer of all time. And not quite there yet, but the signs are there.
Yeah, I would say so. It's also kind of hard to match those two up, just in terms of like how they play at different times, you know, so it's going to be a hard one to do. Look at this, though. He's showing us a little bit of a highlight reel for the round, getting a good couple of kills, and they're going to be able to clean it up. No problem. Eventually, surely, they'll find Nico inside of the smoke. And it's a 2-round lead, 14-12.
Yeah, Liquid looking composed and looking confident now. Timeout taken again. Getting down to crunch time. Surely this is another one taken by G2.
As a frequent traveler on the NA train?
Sure.
What normally happens at this point on the ride, Jason? Like it's looking good. Like
which are we talking in this individual map? Or are you talking big picture?
Just in this in a match like this, like they got that lead, like it's looking real good. Like did they just arrive on time and it's all good, or?
Yeah, this game feels like they're gonna, you know, without. I think you're really trying to get me to jinx things, aren't you? Here's what you're doing.
I'm just asking for you. I'm just asking for you for your confidence.
I'll fall into the trap. This Liquid at the moment looks like they're just gonna be chugging along and continue business as usual.
All right.
Of course, there's always potential that, you know, there's something on the tracks right around the corner that you just can't see.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
All right. I agree. It does look like they found the formula and are just applying it at the moment. So more power to them. 27th round though. No smoke in the window. So OC still not feeling that confident, and Elige though not lacking in confidence. Gonna be able to pick up the kill, and even after that, I'm shocked that Monacy is actually expecting this. Is he going to be quick enough? Elige is so deep down there. Monacy goes down, and as they try and recover the AWP, they could have probably lost it now. Naf is pushing. So much aggression on the Liquid side, and G2 even looked like JKS was actually thinking about it, but they're still just not ready.
It's actually so cool. Just so many pushes all across the map. So much attention for G2 pointed towards middle because Yekindar is being aggressive, Elige is being aggressive, and they never even knew that Naf was pushing up yet again. That's 2 huge pushes out of the B bomb site through those B halls for Naf in this game that have had massive consequences in the second half. And I mean, more than that, out of the timeout as well, remember. The 4th timeout taken from G2. You're coming into it with a plan. You're coming into something you want to exploit. And you get a completely different look of Team Liquid thrown at you.
Just 40 seconds. Nico's alive and Hooksy's here, but Hooksy's been having a little bit of trouble finding some of the frags that are relevant. This time, they're going to have to rely on him to do a lot if they want a chance of winning this one. Oh, the timing could not have been worse. Almost a free kill there for Hooksy, but got to be real careful. Nitro's seeing it. He's got the right read, and just stay alive, Nitro. Naf is showing up now, in connected with an M4, and the time is running down here really quickly. 17 seconds now. The bomb is behind him still. That's on Nico being brought up the ramp. Nice shot from Naf, and now Nico is in a world of trouble. 10 seconds, and he's going to get crossfired out of the round. 15 on the board of Liquid.
Yeah, Nico had to find a kill there. He had to find a 1v1 to get that bomb planted safely, to put some pressure on the other defender, so he had to go for a fight instead of a plant, because there's no way you're getting out of it after the bomb goes down. Aggression is the name of the game in this round for Team Liquid. Yekindar pushing, Elige pushing, OC in support of those two, and Naf lurking on the CT side up along the B halls.
I feel like whenever people hate on Mirage, it's because they don't get to see games like these, where you actually do have a lot of the cool stuff that could happen on the CT side. Which I realize some teams are very hard to do this against, but...
I feel like the people who hate Mirage are, you know, let's not go down this road. I was going to say, like, mostly, like, puggers and matchmakers, although I do know a lot of pro players aren't the biggest fans of Mirage as well, but... It's taking the place of Dust 2. Hold the phone, because Liquid might win here. They're on fire again, 5 in a row. Elige traded off in 1-for-1.
Yeah, that was a hell of a shot. He needs more, and he will get it as well. Nico with a huge follow-up, make it a double, and the bomb is being planted. 3 versus 3. Spam not doing enough. Grenade not going to kill anyone at the very least, but does some good damage on the JKS. And they're going to regroup a little bit here. 3-on-3 for the after plant. Yakindar's already taken down Nico. Bomb is not that far ticked, so they have some time to work with. Naf gonna swing for it here, and JKS, that earlier grenade really softened up, and that is it. What a great 3 versus 3 retake, and Liquid taking down G2.
Yeah, this is a great look for Team Liquid to start out their campaign at Blast Premier in Group B, because T-side, we felt even with G2 winning some rounds, Liquid outplayed them tactically in the first half. In the second half, defense looked solid. Yekindar with an incredible game. OC was spot on with the AWP. All the elements for Team Liquid were looking good.
What a delightful way to get the day started.
Complexity
NA?
upset. Yeah, NA's on top, baby.
Oh,
you thought we were arrogant after the complexity win. Just wait for this one, baby. Log on to Twitter.
Well, James is ready with the interview for us.
Elige, a very solid game there against the new G2 to start off with, and a little bit of smack talk at the end there. We thrown the Yakinda style straight at them?
Yeah, we're just having a little bit of fun. You know, they were talking a little bit before the game, after the game, in the warm-up. You know, people are doing what they're doing, so yeah, just having fun.
Now, one thing I noticed, right, since Yakinda came into the team, is that not only do I see, like, his presence be added to the team, but individually, you've been stepping up as well. You feeling more confident, more comfortable with this?
Yeah, I think overall, like, he is a really good space maker, but I think the main thing is he's a really smart player, and I don't think that, like, many people know that, and he's brought a lot of structure into the team. He's a really smart, macro-oriented, and I think that I just play a lot better with structure, really.
And next up, you'll be going up against Complexity. The NA teams have gone further forward. You got a big smile on your face, Hold on. How do you feel going in against Complexity, boys? Because they were looking a bit sharp.
Yeah, NA's back, boys. NA's back. That's all I gotta say. We're both 1-0. Everyone's predicting 0-2s on the NA boys, but nope.
Well, you've definitely got it, mate. Congratulations so far. And Moses, probably a very happy man right now.
Well, in the wise words of Elige, NA truly is back. Not only Liquid managing to take down a new look G2, but Complexity also managing to take down Na'Vi earlier on in the day. I mean, that Liquid matchup, second half, they looked in really full control of that round.
Yeah, all NA needed was EU players.
That's
and
it.
suddenly they win.
I close my eyes. I don't see the flags.
I don't see it.
It's all stars and stripes now, baby.
No, listen, back to Liquid for a second. That was a fantastic, close to perfection second half from Liquid. And it is something that was brought up at the cast by Jason. Moses O'Toole was obviously very happy right now is the proactivity of Liquid on that CT side. The amount of pushes, the amount of time the information was taken away from G2. Hooksy was in an absolute labyrinth. Nafly was pushing B. Each was sometimes pushing connector. You had pushes down ramp from Nitro as well. And just the whole circle was closing on G2 and they never found a way out.
I spent the last 4 rounds standing behind G2 to observe this game and listening to the communication as well. And you're talking about it. All these pushes, all these aggressions coming out from Liquid, they couldn't control it. It felt like they didn't have the answer for it. Every round they were somewhat prepared for it, you know, even the communication was suggesting that we should be ready for it, but they got caught off guard all the time. And that's a great way of playing Counter-Strike if you're Liquid. You're stressing a new team with a new in-game leader, with a new player in JKS as well. The structure isn't there yet. So the game playing coming out of Liquid right here, you said the word perfection. I'm willing to bank down on that one. I think that was a perfect second half from Liquid.
That was the exact question that I was going to be posing. We all know that Yekenda, you know, loves to be getting aggressive, loves to be holding that W, to be sort of pushing into the other teams. But do you think this was kind of a specific game plan coming up against G2 when they know, you know, things are going to be up in the air in terms of the game plan with Hooksy coming into the driver's seat now? Or do you think this is more of the Liquid that we should be expecting going forward?
I just think it's a good philosophy in general to have, right? And obviously here in this scheme that we have, it fits G2, it fixed their weaknesses, it fixed the fact that they have some issues handling these push, and that's great. I just hope that they keep this philosophy. You talk about Yekindar, you could just have a look at the stats. Of course, he's on top of them. He had a great game. But it's just whenever the game is really tight, whenever the game is really close, his ability and his will to put his life on the line, and fight until he actually makes that difference. He had a couple of moments where he was catwalk on Mirage just fighting one guy, second guy, nade onto Hunter. And these are the kills that make a game. These are the kills that actually push the edge towards your in-game leader.
Listen, the first half from Yekenda was also close to perfection. The impact he found on the T side, I believe he finished with 19 or 17 kills or something like that. Without Yekenda in that first half, Liquid would have struggled a little bit. He was the one opening over and over again. And it's not by opening one kill. He had multi-rounds, you know, on the T side where he got 3 kills, 4 kills, and just completely single-handedly run around for Liquid. They went on to this streak in the first half, winning 5 in a row, and I thought to that moment, okay, that is G2 struggling. That is Yekenda taking over the server. And that's sort of what we felt throughout the entire game. Even though scoreboard-wise, it suggested that it was a close game, it always felt like Liquid were one step ahead, especially when we got to the CT side. Aggressive Counter-Strike, proactive Counter-Strike, perfect Counter-Strike.
Yeah, definitely fully in the driver's seat there. I mean, for the side of G2, obviously, you know, we're going to give them a little bit of breathing room. This is a new in-game leader coming into the driver's seat for their side too. But was there anything that you felt like was particularly lacking from them on the T side? Was it just their ability, or the CT side as well? Was it the ability to kind of counter those pushes coming out of Liquid?
It's not only the ability to counter the pushes, but it's the time they were taking to handle the pushes. And again, the casters did a really good job highlighting that. G2 took a very long time to absorb the pushes and kind of formulate a plan. And because of that, Liquid were just very much ready. The last 25 seconds, 30 seconds, everyone where they needed to be. And this is something that Hooksy was talking about with James. He said, listen, sometimes I know what to do, but I have to express it. I have to express it clearly. And instead of 3 seconds, maybe you use 5. Instead of 10, you use 15 to formulate a plan. And because you have your opponents just coming at you time and time again, then you play a little bit too slow and you are behind the music. And I think that's what happened to G2.
A couple of examples in the game, right? There was a couple of pushes from G2 on the T side when they went up A ramp with 10 seconds left of the round, right? You're just hoping everything is going your way, right? You need the instant kill. You need to get the bomb down instantly for that to work. But that was a great sign again of what Liquid were able to apply pressure towards G2, right? They didn't feel comfortable going up with 20 or 25 seconds left. They were being pressured all the way to the brink where they had to do a Hail Mary just to get up towards the bomb site. So again, scoreboard, you know, suggested it was a close game. You know, when we look into it and when we analyze it and when we dive into it, it felt like Liquid were one step ahead throughout pretty much the entire game.
Well, despite G2 unfortunately having a loss in their debut here at the Full Groups, Hunter does have a few words with Banks.
So, Hunter, your first game here against Liquid, and okay, it's a tough one, right? You play on Mirage, something that you guys, I would say, normally play pretty well, but it is also the first game with the new team, so a loss still, but how do you view it? What do you look at when you come to this moment in time?
I mean, first of all, like, of course, it's the first game. Like, anything can happen, especially BO1. Liquid did really good. Like, we started good, that's what we wanted, and 4-0 on City side, we had a lot of money. Then after 4-0, we were, I think, too passive. We didn't take any initiative, and they just used this space, especially Yekindar in the lead on mid. Yeah. And, like, we had an issues with that because we didn't have informations. Again, we did a good comeback, 8-7 half. We won T-Pistol, 11-7. After that, I thought we'll be good because T-side Mirage we didn't have any issues like on practices. Yeah. But yeah, like I think we were forcing sometimes like some things, not individually, but I mean, we were just forcing some things instead of playing a bit slower because they were fighting for this mid area as well on City side. And yeah, like we need to just learn from our mistakes. This is the first game, and hopefully against Navi we'll fix that and we'll be better.
And the good thing here is we look at the positives. Like you said, it's the good starts. You were getting the pistols, you were converting the rounds, you weren't getting upset throughout all of it. I want to touch on a bit you said about space, though, right? I'm going to take that a bit more. We heard in the interview with Xtaz, like you want to get Manassi like coming out there more, taking a bit more space of it. Is it about him getting some extra confidence to do that more often, or does he have to wait for Hooksy? How's it working?
I mean, with Hooksy, we have a lot of space and we can do almost whatever we want. But obviously, we need to say, and we cannot just do it randomly like we are playing Faceit. So yeah, I mean, we are working on it. We are trying to improve really as much as we can. His communication is getting better, and he's getting better in the team. He's feeling good overall. We just need him to be more free, to have more freedom, and to know when to use his space that he's having.
That's what it's all about. Well, Hunter, thank you very much for your time, and good luck going up against Navi.
Thank you.
That was some really interesting insight from Hunter. I know, Jacob, you weren't too fond of the idea of them having more space with Hooksy. We were talking about, you know, him having the ability to dictate some more of the pace.
Just a little bit, right? It's tough. It's just one game. It's an interview. It could be taken out of context. But I want Hooksy to set in a certain play style, or at least some surroundings that these players can thrive within. I love giving space to players like Nico, Manassi, Hunter for that matter as well. They're world-class players, so of course they need, you know, space in order to unfold the talent. But there needs to be a certain balance obtained. And I think that's something they're going to work on. You know, the first couple of months is going to be rough for G2. It's going to be up and down. It's going to be a roller coaster. But I would love to hear, you know, in a couple of months, Hunter saying in an interview that we now have space, but we also have structure behind the space. Because just giving them space to play FPL-style Counter-Strike, sure, that's going to net you some wins because you have so much skill on the server. But for the longevity, I want G2 to win trophies. I want G2 to be a team that can compete for the best in the world. And you need a certain amount of structure for that.
Yeah, and if Hooksy isn't really practicing it, you know, having a little bit control of what's happening, whenever shit hit the fan and it's 13-13 scoreline, it's going to be really hard for him to shift gear and change his entire approach. We take Kerrigan as the most accomplished IGL we have right now at the very top of the mountain. I guarantee you he knows when to change the gear and when to take control and when to imprint a certain rhythm, or when he can let his teammates just happily run around like horses on the field. He knows when to change. And in Hooksy, you cannot just let people do whatever they want. You also need sometimes to control.
But it takes time to learn, right? Hooksy needs to know his players as well. Knows to feel when is Nico on it, right? When do you give Nico all the space in the world? When do you give Manassi all the space in the world? You need to play with them. You need to practice with them. You need to experience a loss like this before you learn that. So no red flags here whatsoever. No alarm is ringing right now, but it's something that we can keep an eye on for the future.
Yeah, we always say you learn the most from your failures going forward, certainly. But it wasn't just Liquid flying. That's what I was going to talk about. Liquid flying the NA flag, but Complexity also managing to take down Na'Vi. Of course, we're going to use a caveat. No Simple in attendance. But I don't know what you guys thought. I felt like it was kind of a different style of Na'Vi we were seeing, sort of less proactive, taking less of those risks, sort of, I don't know, not the same Na'Vi that I'm used to seeing.
We talked about in the pre-show of that matchup, we said, listen, it's possible that Hetrick put good numbers, which he has done in this game. You look at the stats and Hetrick was up there, but still the machine as a whole is not working as it's supposed to be. And this is where you can actually measure some of the intangibles of what Simple brings on the server. It's not only topping the charts, not only multi-kills galore, it's also organizing the team around him. And obviously he wasn't doing that. The veterans, the cadres of the team didn't show up either. Electronic was quiet, Bit was relatively quiet. And so what you have is a team that has a lot of input, and Complexity sees the opportunity.
Yeah, and let's be honest, right? You're coming out of a summer break, you're coming out of a long break, especially for Na'Vi. It's been a very long season with everything that's been going on. The circumstances haven't really played into their favor. And then you're being told that you're playing with a stand-in in the first tournament. It's just one day of Counter-Strike, and then Simple will return for next week. So in terms of practice and how much focus and how much individual, you know, these players have been practicing, I can somewhat understand if they're not as motivated as Complexity, who's coming in with a new player, who's coming in with Halcirk, who's coming in to prove a point for everyone else. There's something to be said about, you know, top-level Counter-Strike. Even Na'Vi and Complexity, it's some of the small percentages that makes the difference consistently. So if they haven't been practicing as much and as, I guess, focused as they normally do, it makes sense that Complexity would be able to pull off a great performance. And that's why I want to lead the conversation as well. Take nothing away from that. That was a team with confidence for it. That was a team that played some of the best Counter-Strike we've seen Complexity play in this iteration.
And I am so happy that we got to see some good stuff coming out of Fang. He's kind of been touted as the next North American talent coming through. I remember watching him at DreamHack Opens as well when he was really lighting up the server on fire. I was really excited to see him sort of entering what was kind of the tier 1 team of Complexity, unfortunately, throughout 2022. What was it, Jacob? They've only won against a European team once, and it was back in February.
Back in February, and before that, we go all the way back to October 21. They've had 2 wins against European teams in almost, 12 months. So it hasn't really been pretty for Complexity at all. You said it pretty well, Matthew, going into the pregame. It's been red all over for Complexity, but of course, they're starting to show signs of life. Again, it's just one game, but it was a good game of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, they're going to have the opportunity down the line in this event to show us that the gigantic asterisk that is next to that win is just that, just an asterisk. And actually, the inherent value of the team is much higher than we think. Because if there's ever a time to beat Navi, it's probably when Simple isn't here. Sure. And for all the haters and the doubters, right now they have a lot of bullets in the magazine. You just beat Navi without Simple. People don't care. But I agree. I think Complexity showed us better signs, better Counter-Strike that we had seen in a while. You talk about Holzerk, of course his input was much higher than Junior, staying alive, playing clever, giving time to his team to organize around him on the CT side, Fang with a couple of clutches. We should not disregard the good that we have seen from Complexity, but let's not be crazy, right? Simple wasn't here.
Yeah, well, anything else that you kind of want to wrap up this Complexity talk with? Anything else that kind of stood out to you as a reason maybe why they were kind of closing this one out?
Nah, I just want to see more. I want to see more of Complexity. And they also have a great opportunity now that Liquid won. They get a domestic matchup. We know Liquid against Complexity. That's where Complexity have found a bit of success against some of the domestic lineups, playing against NA, playing against that, style of CS that's going to be very aggressive, as we just saw coming out from Team Liquid. So I think in terms of the matchup, the stylistic that we have coming up for Complexity, they now have a massive chance of potentially securing a top spot in this group, which is outrageous to say out loud, at least if you said it a couple of hours ago. So, I want to see more of Complexity. I want to see if what we saw in the first game was just a bit of a fluke, or if we can expect more from them.
Well, Jacob, your wish is my command, but we do have to throw it to a quick break first. As we were saying, a North American derby is about to ensue. Liquid taking on Complexity in that upper bracket matchup. Make sure you join us back after the break to see how it goes down.
All right, well, sat here with Katie, and obviously going to just have a nice little chat. We're going to talk all things heroic and Counter-Strike. Okay, one thing I wanted to get into and talk to you about, because I know we have so many new viewers in Counter-Strike these days, I don't think everyone's fully aware of the entire legend of Cadian, or story of Cadian. Because I don't know, like part of me, when I was thinking about your career, thinking about like this conversation was, if you were in a Hollywood movie, you'd be like the hermit in the desert of like some post-apocalyptic world. Like you just weren't, for whatever reason, able to establish yourself in like tier 1 Danish Counter-Strike in the early days of CSGO. And just over your career, just going through the team list, just you've had to play with like, not the rejects, but like the unwanted, I guess, which isn't much better, I guess. You even were like outcast into like North America, like the true wasteland for a while. You did like a year over there. So, I mean, let's just kind of talk about those kind of early stages, because I don't think people fully realize like the sort of redemption arc and journey that you had to go on to get back to this level. It's taken a long time.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like I had a crazy uprise just when my career started with the qualification for the very first major, then signed a contract with Mouse Sports. But the thing is, like, for 2 of the first teams that I played on, like Mouse Sports and SK, I definitely also compromised a lot with like my role, right? I was always the IGL and the AWP, and in these 2 teams, like at Mouse, Chris J was the AWPer, and in SK, Freeze was the AWPer, right? And I thought to myself that I could easily play like a secondary AWP, and that my capabilities with the rifle would be good enough. I think nowadays I would definitely be able to do so in a much better way, but that's also because I'm way smarter at the game now than I was
You're way more fleshed out as a player.
Yes. So like that definitely hurt like on the statistic base a bit, and you all know how it is, especially back then, like young IGL maybe too much confidence, maybe didn't have the exact way of introducing his philosophies and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And not playing his primary role, so his statistics were like 1 or 0.98 or whatever, then you just get cut. And especially when
Our opening matchups here at the full group for Group B have concluded, and perhaps the bracket has gone a little bit topsy-turvy. We will be seeing a North American derby between Complexity and Liquid going down in just a moment, but Na'Vi taking on G2, and technically that elimination lower bracket matchup. That is going to be whoever loses that is going to be going 4th seed into the gauntlet of next week. I didn't really expect to see, particularly Na'Vi's name down there.
Let me put a scenario forth for your imagination, Faya. Let's imagine for a second that Na'Vi lose that game and they're being the 4th team of this group, and then Simple comes back with his Superman cape in the back, and then they just walk through that entire gauntlet best of 3, just kicking asses, taking names, pushing teams aside, completely destroying our gauntlet. Thank you, Na'Vi. Spasiba. Huh?
That is very mean. That's very mean.
They would destroy the whole bracket. They would ruin everything.
Nah, they wouldn't necessarily.
Of course they would.
Nah, they wouldn't necessarily.
You don't think Simple has the ability to kind of turn the
You guys underestimate the fact that they're coming out of a break. You guys underestimate what can happen in a break like this. I'm not saying Na'Vi's coming bad out of the break because we haven't seen them play with Simple, but it's not a guarantee whatsoever. Once you come out of a summer break where you haven't played Counter-Strike for a month, a lot of stuff can change. A lot of like the power relations between the teams, who's been practicing a lot, who's been bootcamping for just a couple of days, etc., that can change. All I'm saying is that Simple is not here right now, so Na'Vi's not practicing with Simple. The rest of these guys and all the other teams that are playing will be. So that, whole power trip we have about Na'Vi obviously being the second best team in the world, that's still going to be the case in a month or two, but in a week from now, that's not a guarantee.
Well, Matthew, you're putting that situation potentially forward. Does that mean you're favoring G2 in that lower bracket match?
It's really hard for me to stand here and tell you that G2 will win because we have so many questions. That game against Liquid was a little bit disappointing. My fear is that what we have seen, the draw that we have seen on the T side of G2 against Liquid can reproduce on different maps against different opponents. This is my one fear, because on the CT side, I'm ready to believe fully in G2. We've seen what JKS can do on his position. Nico, the man we have on our screen, played pristine on his position. That's going to stay happening. It's going to keep happening. Can they kind of craft solutions on the T side? Are they ready to do that now, or do we think that it's too early for Huxi to kind of bring his magic? Because if he doesn't, then they can lose to anyone.
Some may argue that Mirage would be one of the easier maps to craft those solutions. So you're right, if we go into a more tactical approach like a nuke or an overpass where the T-sides can be incredible tough, then what can we really expect from G2? Another thing you highlighted as well going into the first game was who's going to be the guy who's bringing up the voice within the team, right? Who's going to be the motivator? We saw Jax, being that happy guy, always keeping the mood up. When I was watching and standing behind him for 4 rounds, no one was trying to keep the mood up. It felt a little bit flat, and that's understandable. They were under a lot of pressure, first game, nerves, etc., but that will also have to change, down the line. So that's something I'm keeping an eye out for. What is the mood like within G2 now that Jax is not there to keep it up?
Yeah, no, I think it's kind of an emotional question, I guess, for both sides of the equation in that elimination matchup. But moving into the upper bracket, our North American representatives both winning their initial opening matchups. It is going to be Complexity taking on Liquid to see who's going to be catapulting themselves to that group grand final. Both standing in pretty good stead so far. I just want to open up the conversation with that Complexity versus Na'Vi game, just in case any of the viewers at home weren't tuned in for that particular matchup. Matthew, can you give us kind of the TLDR of what happened in the opening game of Overpass?
To me, 2 names really stand forward in that game. On the CT side, it's Halsert with the AWP. He did what Junior couldn't do in about a year and a half, which is actually have impact and being there, standing his ground. And as I said, kind of gatekeeping some of the part of the map for his teammate to rotate around. And the man that we had just right on our screen as well, Fang and the Clutches. I think these 2 elements were what kind of crumbled the whole cookie for Na'Vi. They were the one pushing Complexity over the line. And again, a Na'Vi that is obviously below 100%.
Yeah.
High pace, simple Counter-Strike. They didn't make it too complicated. T-side overpass, they stuck together a lot, played